determine the case hanging over the fate of Jegede's chances at contesting in the Saturday's election, as Jegede Ibrahim remains PDP's flag bearer. But all may change if appeal court judgment goes otherwise. And tonight we review the issues raised at the governorship debate of Ondo State 2016 yesterday on Channels Television. We take a look at what went down with some of those things said by the candidate and, of course, the one that was obviously absent at the debate. That's our focus tonight on the program. Many thanks for joining in, everyone. This is Politics Today, live on Channels Television. We're live from Akure, the capital of Ondo State, where we are monitoring the situation in the state ahead of the Saturday governorship election. All hands on deck. That's the information that we got from INEC today and the security operatives. Everybody seems to be ready. INEC said out of the 14 items for this election, they have 12 down. 2 to go. What are those 2 items yet? Maybe the election and the declaration of the winner. Well, your guess may be good as mine, but tonight, let's take a look at what is developing from the nation's capital, Abuja, where the Supreme Court has asked the appeal court to determine the case that is going to effectively determine who will run as a PDP candidate on Saturday's election. As it stands, Mr. Jegede Ibrahim is the candidate of the PDP, the People's Democratic Party. You know, there's a lot of contestation in court over that matter. But again, as appeal court has put a pause on its judgment and asked the Supreme Court to determine where to go from there. Today, a 5-member panel of justices of the Supreme Court has dismissed an application by the Alimodo Sharif-led People's Democratic Party asking it to evoke its disciplinary powers and disqualify the panel of the appeal court hearing the Ondo State PDP candidacy appeal. In the application, counsel to the Sharif-led PDP, Mr. Beluolisa Unwufo, asked the court to set aside the November 16, 2016 proceedings of the Court of Appeal for being a nullity. He argued further that the appellate court ought to have state proceedings on the matter, having notified of an appeal against a decision at the Supreme Court. But the decision of the Supreme Court earlier today is in favor of Mr. Jegede, in this sense that the appeal court should go ahead and determine the case. Afterwards, we will know what the appeal court will stand on this matter. Whatever the judgment of the appeal court may go down to determine who runs as a party flag bearer for the People's Democratic Party. Well, let's move ahead now to some other issues, as some parties in the Ondo State governorship election raised are asking for the postponement of the exercise. The People's Democratic Party, that is the McCarthy-led faction of the party, is asking for the postponement. The Labour Party has joined in it. IPAC also has joined in it. What are their reasons for asking for the postponement? Well, take a listen to them now.
Should immediately postpone the Ondo State elections. And we have reasons for saying that. For no reason, in the case of Edo State, they postpone elections. For no just cause, in the case of Rivers State, they have postponed elections. In the case of Ondo State, there are very good reasons why this election should be postponed. Number one is that they know that a major candidate, a major political party, has issues regarding its candidacy for the election. That is the People's Democratic Party. It's a major party in this country, the largest party in this country. It has issue regarding its candidacy, a matter that was principally caused by INEC itself. Because INEC monitored the primaries that produced Jegede as the candidate of the PDP in Ondo State. They did not monitor the primary, the purported primary organized by the Alimodo Sharif illegal committee that produced Jegede Ibrahim in faraway Ibadan.
We also take this opportunity to call on the relevant security agencies, the police, the DSSS, the NSCDC, etc., to immediately put pressure on INEC to shift the election date to a possible date after the court processes have been completed, but within the constitutional provisions to guarantee peaceful and healthy political environment for election.
Well, those are the reasons there. IPAC Labour Party National Chairman and Prince Dayo Adeyeye, the spokesperson of the McAfee-led caretaker committee of the People's Democratic Party. Those are their reasons. They are asking for the postponement of the exercise. We understand that Governor Olusegun Mimiko visited the president. Again, someone will say yes. Well, in the bid of asking the president to wade in on the matter that is affecting the People's Democratic Party in Ondo State. But what exactly could the president do in this matter? There are a lot of questions. A lot of people are asking politically, of course, what the president may be able to do, considering the fact that Mr. Olusegun Mimiko does not have any candidate in this race so far. If Mr. Jimoh Ibrahim goes down as the candidate who will be representing the People's Democratic Party, and these are calls for the postponement. We've seen protests also at the INEC office in Ondo State. But again, will INEC postpone this election? That was a major one we were expecting today when INEC top officials today, from the chairman of INEC to all the National Commissioner of INEC and the REC, the IG of police, everybody present, political parties, some candidates in the race were present today at the stakeholders meeting. And the question was, will INEC postpone this election? Take a listen to what the INEC chairman has to say about this. Professor Mahmoud Yakubu.
As in previous elections, INEC will continue to respect this well-established practice. The conduct of the election this weekend involves a large deployment of personnel. Most of these personnel are drawn from the pool of young Nigerians on national assignment through the National Youth Service Corps scheme. Their service, complemented by other patriotic Nigerians, is essential to the electoral processes and to our democracy. They operate often under very difficult circumstances. While we have done everything possible to assure their safety, I appeal to all those involved in the election, be they candidates or voters, to assist the Commission and the security agencies in ensuring the safety and security of all electoral officials. For our part, we have warned our officials to operate strictly within the confines of the law and our guidelines. All election duty personnel have sworn to an oath of neutrality and fairness to the process. Any infraction will attract severe sanctions from the Commission. Our plea to political parties and their supporters is that they should eschew violence and the attendant culture of intimidation of electoral officials and the desperate resort to vote buying, ballot box snatching, abduction of electoral officials, and other violations of the Electoral Act and INEC guidelines. So far, and I'm very happy to note this, there is no major incidents reported, for which we would like to commend all the Ondo stakeholders. I urge all political parties and candidates to maintain the same spirit of orderly conduct during and after the elections on Saturday.
Well, you hear him there, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, saying, well, the election won't be postponed. So anybody who is asking for the election to postpone need to think again, because the reasons an election could be postponed and not on the table, that's according to the INEC chairman, and that's perhaps the home truth that we must be going with right now. A lot of people will remember what happened in Edo State when the police says, there is a security situation, and that is the reason why the election must be postponed. Is there any security reasons now? That's what Governor Mimiko is saying to the president, that the situation in court is causing security threats in Ondo State, and election must be postponed. But then a lot of people seem not to see that reason, and INEC chairman is not on that path also, and so the INEC as an institution. But we go forward. What about security? How prepared the police and the security apparatus for this election? And some of the questions that the IG of police answered to Mr. Idris when he was speaking at the stakeholders meeting. It was clear about the decisions the police will make and the number of police that are going to be deployed for this exercise. Everything looks so much that the police are not joking in this election. Hear him now. In the last election cycle in Ondo State, and it's in the riverine area, a lot of people believe that the delay in transporting the materials to town across the river was a major problem because of transportation and security patrol.
What I want to say is that the issue is that we have this inter-agency coordination. This inter-agency axis is supposed to, look into some of these issues we are talking about, and all these are part of the structure of INEC and the other electoral agencies supporting INEC, and we're going to look into it.
Thank you so much. How many men are you deploying altogether?
I thought I said it. I think 26,000. That's conventional policemen, 26 mobile policemen, and I said we are deploying helicopters, 3 helicopters per each to assist in surveillance. We are deploying about 12 gunboats. We are going to, so we are going to deploy horses and dogs. We are going to deploy our special units. That's those in charge of explosive or the EOD. These are anti-bomb groups. Yes.
Many thanks, IG, for talking. Well, the police the IG of police earlier today, when I was asking him about some situation regarding the preparations of the police for this election. Remember what happened 4 years ago, the last election cycle here in Ondo State, at the waterways and the riverine areas like Ilaje, Eseodo. It was a difficult one. We waited all night, all day for results to come from those ends, and that actually took my attention. And when I was asking him, because if you have monitored election in this state, you will know that is always a hellish one coming from that part, the region of the state. But a lot of people will wonder how prepared the police were. We'll be waiting to see. They say 3 choppers are going to be flying across the perimeters of the state. There are going to be 20 gunboats that are going to be patrolling the waterways in Ondo State. Over 20,000 men on the ground in the police force are going to be deployed for this election. Massive deployment that we're going to be seeing in this election. We go on a short break, and when we return, our attention is going to be the issues in this election. We took on 3 of the candidates of the 28 political parties. For those that were invited for the governorship debate 2016 in Ondo State, and one man was absent. He's giving reasons why he was not going to be speaking to the voters, those who is seeking his vote. Well, Channel Television went ahead to ask those who were present, and it spoke about those things they want to bring to the table. That's what we'll be analyzing when we return from this break. Join us again.